Imagine living in a world of vast lands and sacred mesas, guided by ancient oral traditions passed down for millennia. This is the world of the Hopi people, the peaceful guardians of the American Southwest. For centuries, they have shared prophecies about the great cycles of creation and destruction. 9 specific signs, they say, will mark the end of our current era, the Fourth World, and signal the dawn of a great purification. In our last exploration, we uncovered the chilling first sign, the arrival of white invaders armed with thunder weapons. Today, we delve into the second sign, a vision so precise it sends shivers down your spine. The prophecy warns that spinning wheels filled with voices will come to the land. What could this possibly mean? Let's unlock this ancient mystery together. The Hopi prophecies were first shared widely with the outside world in the mid-20th century by respected elders like White Feather of the Bear Clan. It's crucial to remember, these aren't dusty old books. They are sacred oral teachings, passed from one generation to the next, carrying warnings about humanity falling out of balance and the urgent need to return to a life of harmony. The exact wording of the second sign can vary slightly depending on who is telling the story, but the core image remains consistent. Mysterious wheels that spin across the earth, carrying voices within them. Now try to picture this from an ancient perspective. Before European contact, there were no wheeled vehicles in the Americas. The Hopi themselves used simple sleds called travois, or simply carried their goods. So when an elder spoke of spinning wheels filled with voices, it would have sounded completely alien, like a glimpse into another dimension, a vision of something truly yet to come. Now let's fast forward, in time to the 1800s. America is gripped by the idea of manifest destiny, the belief that settlers were divinely ordained to expand westward across the continent. Thousands of pioneers begin to load up their belongings into covered wagons. These were sturdy wooden frames, draped in canvas, pulled by teams of oxen or mules. And those wheels? They were massive, often rimmed with iron, spinning relentlessly over the prairies, across mountains. Day after day, mile after grueling mile, they carved paths like the Oregon Trail, the Santa Fe Trail, and the California Trail into the landscape. But here's where the prophecy becomes truly eerie. What was inside those wagons? Families stuck together for months on end. They were talking, singing hymns to keep their spirits up, and telling stories to pass the grueling hours. You had children laughing and playing, parents making plans for their new lives in a new land. Their voices would have echoed inside those canvas shells, contained within the moving vehicle, spinning wheels, filled with voices. It's a perfect match. The sheer scale of this migration is staggering. From 1840 to 1869 alone, it's estimated that over 400,000 people crossed the plains in these wagon convoys. They completely transformed the landscape, claiming lands that had been home to native tribes for centuries. While the Hopi homelands weren't on the main wagon trails, they were deeply affected by this massive encroachment on the wider region. The arrival of the wagons brought profound and often devastating change. New diseases to which the native people had no immunity, fierce conflicts over scarce resources like water and grazing land, and the permanent reshaping of the American West. Soon, the railroads would follow, becoming the iron snakes mentioned in later Hopi prophecies. But it was the era of the covered wagon that acted as the vanguard, the first wave of this unstoppable tide. Many interpreters, including Hopi descendants and scholars like Thomas Ben-Yassia, who famously spoke at the United Nations in 1992, directly link this prophecy to the pioneer migration. It's not just about the physical wheels. It's about the voices of a new people, a new culture, flooding onto sacred lands and disrupting an ancient way of life. Yet it's important to understand that the prophecies are not about assigning blame. They are intended as warnings, as signs of a growing imbalance in the world. They highlight a time when material progress and the desire for more begins to overshadow spiritual harmony and respect for the earth. The traditional Hopi path, known as Hopi Vatsquani, emphasizes living simply, in tune with nature and the rhythms of the seasons. This stands in stark contrast to the relentless expansion and consumption that the wagons came to symbolize. So is this all just a pure, mind-boggling coincidence? Or is it evidence of profound foresight from a people deeply connected to the cycles of time and the patterns of the universe? The accuracy is stunning. Just like the first sign, which described guns as sticks that boomed like thunder, this vision of spinning wheels filled with voices materialized in a way the elders could never have physically witnessed in their own time. And remember, we are only on the second sign. 7 more follow. Some believe we have already seen most of them unfold. There are prophecies of a cobweb being spun around the earth, which many interpret as our telephone and power lines. There's the river of stone that twists upon the land, seen as our modern highway systems. And most chillingly, the prophecy of a gourd of ashes that would be dropped from the sky to boil the oceans and burn the land, which has been interpreted as the atomic bombs dropped on Japan. But the ultimate message of the Hopi prophecies isn't one of doom and despair. It's a message of hope. It's a call to action, urging humanity to return to a state of balance before the final sign appears, the blue star Kashina, who will dance in the plaza and remove his mask, signaling the arrival of the great purification. The prophecies say that those who have lived in a righteous and harmonious way will emerge from this period of change into the fifth world, an era of peace and enlightenment. The question still lingers, hanging in the air like desert dust. Did ancient Hopi elders truly foresee the covered wagons and the voices they carried across the continent? Was it a fulfilled prophecy, or just a remarkable coincidence? What does this second sign mean to you in our modern world? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I read every single one. If these ancient warnings captivate you as much as they do me, please smash that like button, subscribe to Harry's History and Myths, and make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss our exploration of the third sign coming very soon. The prophecies continue to unfold. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay curious.